Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that game where people move pieces around a board and try to outsmart each other? Yes, that's chess. It's the game that can make even the most relaxed players break a sweat as they battle it out for the win. It's not all about perfect play and elegant strategies. Even the greatest players in the world are not immune to making silly mistakes or, in some cases, intentionally breaking the rules to gain an edge over their opponents. We'll be delving into some of the most notorious moments in chess history where super grandmasters have gone rogue and thrown caution to the wind. Get ready for some jaw-dropping, mind-boggling, and downright hilarious moments as we explore the top 10 illegal moves made by grandmasters throughout history. But don't worry, we're not here to judge. In fact, we're here to celebrate the good, the bad, and the ugly of chess. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and get ready to laugh, gasp, and maybe even learn a thing or two about the game of kings. Before we start, I have a humble request for my fellow chess fans. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your suggestions in the comments below. Let's make this chess journey as fun and exciting as possible. Number 10. Hikaru Nakamura vs Fabiano Caruana. We all know and love Hikaru and Fabi. Throughout the course of their careers, these two beasts have played against each other many times. However, there was one particular game when they were both low on time, battling out in an intense endgame stage. Nakamura had 30 seconds left on the clock while Caruana had even less, just 15 seconds. The tension was palpable as both players moved their pieces at lightning speed. Fabiano pushed his pawn to the c2 square intending to promote, Hikaru defended with the bishop. Fabiano instantly attacked with the rook and Hikaru got out of the way. Now, it all looked good for Fabi as he could promote and gain an advantage. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. Caruana accidentally hit the clock with his elbow while promoting his pawn to a queen, stopping the timer before making the move. And just like that, he made a huge illegal move. The commentator stated this as the wreck sink field blunder. According to FIDE rules, this should have resulted in an instant loss. However, after the referee added time to the clock and reset it, the game continued. You can imagine that Nakamura was not happy about it. Number 9. Garry Kasparov vs Vasilin Topalov. Do you think that Fabi's mistake against Hikaru was the only instance of such mishaps in the world of chess? You're mistaken. One day, one of the greatest players of all time, Garry Kasparov, was playing against Vasilin Topalov, also a great player. The scenario was similar, with both players low on time in this game. Topalov had 38 seconds left on the clock, while Kasparov had only 13 seconds. Despite the time pressure, both players were making very good moves. You can see on the board that all pieces were defended and organized. The game was perfection until Topalov did something hilarious. I don't know if it was the presence of Kasparov or something else, but Topalov pushed his b-pawn to the edge of the board at the b8 square, and instantly hit the clock before completing the promotion. Intentionally or not, he made the same mistake again. But wait, it gets even better. In a dramatic fashion, Kasparov stood up, claimed his victory, and walked away like a total weirdo. No referee review needed. Oh, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in the game of chess? It never gets old. Number 8. Magnus Carlsen vs Alexandra Kostenyuk. Can you imagine a situation during a live game of chess where a player makes a move, but then realizes it's risky and swiftly changes to avoid potential danger that could result in an immediate loss? Let's talk about the GOAT Magnus Carlsen. At the World Blitz Championship in 2009, Magnus Carlsen was playing against Alexandra Kostenyuk, the former Women's World Rapid Chess Champion in 2021 and the former Women's World Chess Champion from 2008 to 2010. Both players were on full attack mode against each other. Alexandra launched an attack by playing the rook to b2, threatening to take Magnus's queen. Magnus immediately defended with the move rook e3 to e2. Soon after, Magnus realized that this move was a blunder, as white could simply trade queens and be up a rook. Magnus noticed this and tried to cover up the mistake by reversing the move and defending with the move e1 to e2 instead. It was quite funny how he broke the rules with his illegal move. Magnus is very humble and realized that, so he just walked away quietly. Number 7. Hikaru Nakamura vs Levon Aronian. What happens when a professional chess grandmaster resorts to using foul language against their opponent during a live game? Unfortunately, the outcome is far from pleasant. This incident occurred during a match between Hikaru Nakamura and Levon Aronian in round 6 of the Moscow Candidates Tournament 2016. Both players were performing well in the endgame phase, but the mounting pressure was palpable. Suddenly, without intending to move his king, Hikaru touched it. In chess, there is a rule that if you touch a piece, you must move it. However, Hikaru did not move the king immediately, which was against the rules. Meanwhile, Levon used a certain curse word starting with the letter M, as Hikaru later stated. This was also illegal. So, who do you think bears more responsibility for breaking the rules? Number 6. Hikaru Nakamura vs Vidit Gujrati. During the Tata Steel Blitz tournament in 2019, Hikaru Nakamura faced off against the young Indian Grandmaster, Vidit Gujrati. The game had progressed to a critical endgame phase where both players had traded their pieces, leaving only 2 pawns and 2 kings on the board. Unexpectedly, Vidit made a suspicious move that caught Hikaru off guard. Perhaps Hikaru's presence got to him as he moved his king directly next to Hikaru's king, violating a fundamental rule of chess that requires a gap of at least 1 square between 2 kings. This caused a hilarious moment, and you could see the disbelief on Hikaru's face. Vidit soon realized his mistake. It did not matter though, as this would have been an instant loss for him anyway. At least, everyone expected that. But hold on, to everyone's surprise, the referee gave him a warning, reset the clock, and the game continued. Number 5. Magnus Carlsen vs Ernesto Enarkiev. We have seen that 1 illegal move is enough to ruin the game. But what about 2? That's what happened during a match between Magnus Carlsen and Ernesto Enarkiev in the FIDE World Blitz Championship in 2017. Magnus played the move rook to b7, giving Enarkiev a check with his white pieces. Enarkiev was forced to take the rook, but instead he made an illegal move by playing knight to e3, check while his king was in check. The situation became even more amusing when Magnus responded with an illegal move of his own, king to d3, breaking the rule that states you cannot respond to an illegal move. Although Enarkiev was initially declared the winner, Magnus later appealed, claiming that he was not responsible for the first illegal move. This irony highlights that even professional players are not immune to making these types of mistakes. This game became very famous and almost broke the internet after that day. Number 4. Magnus Carlsen vs Peter Svidler. You may be wondering why there are so many instances of illegal moves involving Hikaru and Magnus. To be honest, I'm not sure why this is the case. It is what it is, I suppose. Let me tell you about the 2009 World Blitz Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Peter Svidler. Svidler, playing with the black pieces, had his pawn on the opposite side of the board, threatening to capture Magnus's queen and promote his pawn. He successfully took the queen, but made the same mistake again by pressing the clock before completing his move. Come on, Peter, that's not how the game works. This error seems to be a common occurrence among top players, but please take note and avoid it. After all, we are here to learn, right? At the time, nobody noticed Svidler's blunder, as the game was going too fast. It was only later that everyone realized what had really happened. Number 3. Manuel Petroswine vs Daniil Dubov. This game is considered iconic, as both Daniil Dubov and Petroswine faced intense time pressure during a complex endgame. Playing with the black pieces, Daniil Dubov made a significant move by playing pawn to f4 check. Meanwhile, Petroswine's response was downright jaw-dropping. He ignored the check and played rook take b5 check, a check in response to a check, an eye for an eye. However, Daniil Dubov immediately stopped the clock and called for officials to intervene. After resetting the clock and adding time, the game continued. But Daniil Dubov did not emerge as the victor. Basically, the ruling on illegal moves had changed at the time, so illegal moves did not result in an instant loss anymore. It's important to note, be cautious when giving a check to your opponent while in check. Otherwise, your chessboard will be disappointed in you. Number 2. Valentina Guinina vs Zhu Wenjun. Let's take a look at this chess match where 2 formidable female players face off against each other. Zhu Wenjun played with the black pieces, while Guinina played with the white pieces. The game was in the middle stage when Wenjun decided to give a small check to the white king by moving her knight to e5. Guinina could have simply moved her king to a safe square, but instead she moved it to c3, not realizing that the black knight at e4 was covering that square. Consequently, Guinina's move was illegal as it put her king in check. Wenjun believed that she had won, but unbeknownst to her, the rules had recently changed. Thus, she received some extra time and the game continued. There was a bit of drama as the officials were struggling to set up the clock, and it took a really long time. Number 1. Magnus Carlsen vs Boris Shevchenko. During a match at the 2010 World Blitz Championship, Magnus faced off against a skilled player named Boris Shevchenko, playing with the white pieces. As the game progressed, Magnus attempted to make it a king move, intending to move the king from d3 to c4. However, in a remarkable turn of events, he accidentally dropped his king on d4. He immediately corrected his move, but his hand was off the pace, resulting in two separate moves. Consecutive moves are illegal in chess, and Savchenko pointed out the error, leading to Magnus asking, "Excuse me?" Savchenko claimed victory, and Magnus said, "Whatever bro, I don't care." Surely, Magnus was unhappy, but he accepted the outcome. There you have it guys, the most hilarious, funny, and dramatic errors made by some of the best. If you enjoyed the video, please check out my other videos. Until then, see you.